So we're here on What's Good with Joanna Michelle. This is my special guest Armand, who's here to talk about his published book. And he's going to tell us a little bit more about how long he's been writing also. So Armand, go ahead and tell us about your background and your book.
Okay, a little bit about my background. I went to like four different colleges, and I was never really settled on what I wanted to do. And then I would say probably in my last year of college, I really got into English literature, and I loved it a lot. And actually, I really liked English since high school, but I just never pursued anything. So I figured I just buckled down my last year, studied a lot, but I never wrote anything. I just wrote like little poetry here and there, but nothing serious, anything like that. So, and then after college, I just kind of dropped it. And then I would say probably another 10 years later, I actually just started writing. And that's how this story came about.
Yeah. And so tell us more about the genre, because what's the category?
So it's a science fiction novel. Now I'm really into science fiction. I'm a movie head too, so I see movies left and right. So I mean, I got a pretty out there imagination. So, and I'm really involved with aliens and all that. So
Okay.
I mean, this was perfect for me.
Yeah. And when did you actually get this book published, and what's the title of it?
So I got it published back in 2017, and it's titled 17 Years Soldiers of Tomorrow.
Awesome. So yeah, science fiction, that's definitely something that Carlos, who's one of our editors and producers, is into as well. And I know right now with the pandemic, a lot of people are getting into reading again. Or if they were reading a lot, it's just intensified now. Yeah. So Armand, tell us more about what the storyline is for your book that's out.
So the story, the main character is Armand, played by me, of course. So it just starts as a normal everyday schedule for me, and I'm headed home back to my family, and all of a sudden I'm abducted by aliens, and then so it just takes me through like this quest of they're showing me the universe and how the universe was made, and the answers that everybody would ask. And then so when I come back to Earth, when they bring me back, it's actually 17 years later. So, all my family, everybody's grown, but I'm still the same. And to me, it was only about a 2-hour journey. And yeah, so I mean, it was a big adjustment. And so the book kind of puts you in a place of, what would you do? It puts you in a place of the main character as to what you would do in that situation, and then come to find out, there's a big war coming to Earth. So, it's a lot of predicaments that, I thought it was pretty interesting.
Yeah, it sounds like how long did it take for you to write it?
It actually took me about 1 year and 3 months. And that's the thing about writing, is that you can have this great idea and then you put it down on paper and then you're like, I don't like that, or it's kind of stupid. But then and then so you just let it go for a little bit, or this is my process anyway. You just let it go. And then it's like, you know what? This is my story. This is my imagination. This is for me. So I picked it back up, and it took about a year and 3 months to complete.
And it sounds like a movie plot, Armand. Honestly, yeah, it sounds like a movie that would be out now, because the science fiction has definitely always been, I feel like our country in particular has always been interested in the idea of aliens, right? And what they're capable of, not capable of, and how they would interact with us. So, wow. Are you working on anything new in the near future?
So I am working on part 2 to this first book, and also some other short stories at the moment.
Oh, that's awesome. So we'll be sure to put your information in the description box below. And where can people find the current book? And then moving forward, what platforms do you plan to be on?
You can find the book on Amazon.com, Barnes and Nobles, Author House, who's the publishing company that published my book. And I'm also on Facebook, Armand Jefferson. I have a separate page, 17 Years Soldiers Tomorrow, dedicated to that book, and also on Instagram, Armand Jefferson as well.
Now, I know that with the pandemic, a lot of our featured artists and entrepreneurs, their creative process or flow of business has changed. Are you seeing that happening right now with the pandemic still going on?
I wouldn't say changing anything. I know with books and just writing in general, you have to be patient, regardless of the atmosphere that's going on around you. And that's what I've kind of noticed these last couple of years is that it's a little bit slower paced. You just have to write when it comes to you, and you can't rush it or anything like that.
And I know I can hear the baby in the background, so I just want to let the audience know if it's that's okay. You just recently had a baby, so congratulations.
Thank you, COVID baby.
Yeah, I know. Definitely a COVID baby, but what a blessing. And last but not least, I just want to highlight that this channel is about promoting our local artists and entrepreneurs, and I hope to have more published authors on this channel. But definitely what we'll do, Armand, is keep track of your published works, and hopefully we'll get to promote those as well moving forward. So thank you so much for being on our channel. I appreciate you taking the time out to do our little interview here, and stay tuned for more businesses and entrepreneurs and more artists to come on
Thank
the
you for
channel.
having me. I appreciate it. Congratulations on the channel.
Thank you so much. Welcome to What's Good with Joanna Michelle. I have a special guest here today, which Jaray, I call everyone my special guest because you all are special to me. If I have you on my show, it's because we definitely want to promote you. Jaray Banks has been in the cosmetology beauty industry and is going to tell us a little bit more about how long you've been in the industry, Jaray, and also when did you know it was your passion?
Well, thank you so much for having me, Joanna. I really appreciate being on. I've been in the cosmetic industry going on about 7 years now. And through that time, I've been all across Colorado. I've done work here in Colorado, Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, Florida, New York. It kind of goes on. So it just depends on the day, really. And then as a cosmetologist, technically, as a cosmetologist, I've only been licensed for about 2 weeks now. Crazy, right? However, being in the beauty industry, I started off as a makeup artist at a time where the license wasn't necessarily needed. It was kind of slipped under the rug, and I was only doing makeup, So, and then I kind of progressed my career into doing weddings and doing more TV and media work along the way. And finally, once I got there, I was like, all right, let's scale back and get myself a license. So 7 years of being in the industry, but 2 weeks of being like legit legal or whatever,
Well, congratulations. I did see that you did get licensed up for everything. So that's definitely a huge feat, because I heard that the testing is kind of gruesome.
It's insane. Yes.
Yeah, so now you can make the big bucks.
Exactly. Stepping on up. And the way I did it too was really cool because I was able to work as a professional still, even though I was still in schooling, but I did what's called an apprenticeship here in Colorado, where I even had to do about 1,000 more hours, 1,300 more hours technically than a regular cosmetologist. So I feel pretty educated and accomplished at this point.
Yes, definitely. And when did you kind of figure out, 7 years is a long time. When did you actually know this was it? Like this was your passion and this is what you wanted to do?
I knew at a very young age. I actually knew so I grew up in a mixed family home, and different not different moms, but different parents in different households. My parents weren't together since I was like 1. So with my step grandmother at my dad's house, she actually owned a beauty shop since I was about 3 years old. Yeah. So when I'd go over to her place and we would hang out in the beauty shop all the time. And then through high school, it was actually kind of laughed at because I knew that's what I wanted to do my freshman year. I was like, I'm going to be a cosmetologist. That's going to be my jam. And, I remember my stepdad coming over to me and being like, Jaray, like, you don't make money in cosmetology. You don't want to do that. What do you want to do for real? And, looking back, he said his words or whatever, but I went off the path and went back on, and through so many experiences that I was at 14 years old, I remember writing that down in the little independent living course of like, I'm going to do this. And here we are, I think it's like 11 years later.
Yes. Well, I love stories like that. And because they're so inspirational, right? Like as kids, we have these dreams and sometimes they seem so unattainable. But it sounds like you've arrived. Like you've got your licensing and you just stay busy, I bet.
Trying, exactly. Even through COVID, it's been working out. Thankfully, I'm in a career field in which sanitation is literally 90% of what you learn in schooling and in this industry in general. And even since before I was licensed, working back at MAC Cosmetics and in retail stores, you were taught the very utmost portion of cleanliness and being sanitary at counter. So I've thankfully been involved in that for years, but now with COVID, it's really stepping up to the plate a bit more, and I'm happy to provide that to my clients.
Yes, and that's something that actually I had another person in the beauty industry on a previous episode, and she was mentioning that in lieu of the pandemic, the protocols that were in place are still in place, but they're a little bit more, you guys are a little bit more cognizant and careful in terms of like when you have multiple people to work on at once.
Exactly. Or working in a salon even, like, before we might not have like completely wiped down the shampoo bowl between every person. We would wipe down the bowl itself, but maybe not the chair. Now it's done between the person. Exactly. It's full 9 yards. I have a full 10-minute split in between clients to fully clean and allow disinfection to happen. So you just gotta be knowledgeable, and being knowledgeable is being more healthy and being more safe, cautious in the long run.
Yes. And so I'm so thankful that now we can still go get our salon services, and cosmetologists like you sometimes will go to the person if they need services. So definitely, if you want to let us know where people can find you, how they can book your services, because you do makeup, but you also do hair, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. So makeup extraordinaire, but we also dabble in a little bit of hairstyling. So I do. You can actually book me, and my website is actually launching by the time this will be on. So you can see me at www.jarayfortheslay.com. That is JARAYFORTHESLAY.com, my friends. And you can also find me on Instagram or on my Facebook page at Jaray for the Slay, and it's Jaray for the Slay on all social media platforms. So it's kind of easy to find, and Jaray's kind of an easy name to kind of find.
Yeah. Plus, you have your little slogan, Jaray for the Slay.
Yes,
So, like,
exactly. If you want to be slaying sis, you know who to call already, okay? But yes, I do hair and makeup services. With that being said, too, just so as you had brought that up, as a licensed cosmetologist, I'm able to kind of touch base on all areas of hair, skin, and nails. So I offer an array of services for your beauty needs, except nails. I leave that to the nail professionals, because I know some girls who be slaying the nails, and I ain't to that part. So if you need a little quick manicure, though, hey.
Yes. So thank you so much for being on our show. We will link all of your information in the description box below for our audience so that they know how to reach you and how to follow you. And just thank you so much for your services.
Thank you. Take care.